Hello.
Hi there, we're just on mute there, which is why
It took us a second to realise where we were and what we were doing.
But at least we remembered not to just start talking, and at least we waited until we were unmuted.
Yeah, we pressed the button first. I'm really sorry, I've got to move this thing behind my head. It looks like I had a corkscrew coming out of my head. That's professional, isn't it? There we go. We're here now, it's fine.
It's a kid's craft before you wonder
yes,
what it was.
Not actually a corkscrew, just on the show.
Good, but hello and welcome to River Church Online. Welcome to 2022. Although I appreciate it is like the 16th, so we're kind of well into it. But tonight is our first kind of proper online church. Last week we were here just having a bit of kind of chat and catch up. So if you missed it, you didn't really miss much, to be fair. But tonight
I disagree. I think we're very missable, so not very unmissable. As in, if you missed it, I think you missed out. So you should definitely watch last week's at some point.
Well, you might have missed out, but I'm going to go on the basis that if you don't watch it, that's fine. But tonight's a different story. We're starting a new season, which we're really excited about. And so if you do miss tonight, then yeah, you're missing out. Really,
you're talking to the people that are here.
All right. Well, I'm assuming that the word's going to spread and people are going to sort of share everything about it. And it's going to become amazing.
Indeed. So we are very excited this evening, though, to be kicking off our new series, like Mark said. And we are going to be doing about the difference that God makes. And we've got some really good people. We've got some really great people lined up to come and share with us and have some fun with us. All different topics, all different angles, but all of them with the theme of the difference that God has made in their lives since they chose to follow him and give their lives to him. So what we'll do is we'll get our other trusty person up here, which is Hannah. Hannah's here every week with us, so there she is. Hi, Hannah. Brilliant. I'm in charge of tech. So when things go wrong, it's Hannah's fault, okay? Just so that we're all clear.
All
clear.
But that's not your license to just message
a disclaimer.
That's not your troll Hannah, be like, oh, it's wrong.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah. No, hopefully there'll be a lot of grace.
I'm used to being blamed for things going wrong, so.
Not by us, Hannah. Not by us.
That's true. That's true. Okay, and then also hiding in the background with us today is Terry. So I don't know, Terry, there he is. Hi, Terry.
Oh. Hello. It's on mute there. Hi.
So this is Terry. Terry is an awesome member of the River Church, and Terry at the moment
and a friend.
A friend. He's our friend.
Yeah.
He's our friend.
He is one of my best friends.
He was our friend before the River Church took over. So yeah.
Nice.
Friend first.
So yeah.
So at the moment, Terry runs the children's work at church. So he is a superstar. Tim's feeling the need to be mentioned. Like, there you go. So, Hannah's put you up.
If you've never been online church, our pastor Tim is normally hangs out with us tonight, but we thought we'd give him a night off tonight because he's had a busy weekend, and Terry's helping us out.
It's not entirely true. Not entirely true, because I think since the last time I was on here, can I just say, my DMs absolutely lit up. Just the words. I'll just give you a glimpse, right? There was a hashtag in there, #NotTim, and also dynamic, charismatic, entertaining,
good looking.
Also, someone had set up an anonymous user. It was anonymous01 AC. I don't know anyone with the initials AC, but they said, it was just so good to have someone that was actually quite handsome on your live stream. So
well, there we go.
That's good. My middle child's popped along as well. You all right, my darling?
Good.
Yeah, off you go.
I think we'll have to take your word for it that there was a lot of love going on.
You've got Tanu on your side sending a comment there as well. So
it's good.
You're building a fan crew. So if you are there and you're watching and you're listening and you're not Tim or Tano who have messaged already, or Marley who's messaged already, then drop a hello or a wave or a smiley face in the comments. We'd like to know you're there and who you are if you are there, because, you know,
Good. So what we're
I'm going to
doing,
mute Terry till he gets back.
before we kind
That's
of
professional,
tell
isn't it?
you kind of what's coming up today, I just want to, Alice has already kind of mentioned about what our kind of new series is about. But if you've never logged into River Church Online before, well, first of all, I'd like to say you're in for a treat tonight. It's just lots of fun. We like to have fun at River Church. It's one of our kind of things that we really love to do, to be together as kind of friends and family and together and having fun. But that's not why we do River Church Online, not just show us what lovely people we are. But actually, we do it because we realised through the pandemic, when we kind of got stuck on Zoom for a long time as a church, that actually just being online is a great place to come and just really tell people about Jesus. Because I said our whole series is about the difference Jesus made, God's made in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And really, that's our story, whether it's kind of this or that, and we can hear lots of different stories. But really, we want to kind of get a message out there to wherever you're at, whether you're at home, in your bedroom, in your bathroom, in your living room, whether you're watching this on the train, whether you're watching this in 2 years' time. We want to do something to where we can just get the message out about what a difference Jesus makes, and a positive, fantastic difference that he makes. And so really that's what River Church Online is all about. It's not just about us having some good chit chat and sort of looking pretty online. It's really to tell you guys about Jesus. And so we're excited to have Terry and to share his story of what the difference God has made in his life. So,
indeed, before we move on, we should probably say hello to some of these people who have been popping up on the screen. So we've got Zaina's in there and Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte from Devon.
Good. We are big. If you've never been checked us out before, we are big in Devon.
Yeah, Devon, massive. Whoop. But Charlotte's been hit with COVID, so I hope you're all feeling a bit better, Charlotte. Let us know how you are feeling. Biggest struggle, having to hang out with your own kids all the time. I am not up to that. So we are praying for you.
Our other son got hit with COVID. I say hit. He tested positive.
Yeah.
It's been absolutely fine, but he's been stuck at home.
He's been bored and underfoot the entire week, which has been terrible.
Good. But the Fortnite character has leveled up quite a lot in that time.
Yes,
so
he has done
it's not all bad on
amazingly.
that front for him.
We've got Tracy and Grace.
Good evening, Grace.
Evening, Grace. And Sally's with us. And who else we've got? Tracy. Tracy Robbins is with us as well. Tracy's becoming one of I reckon if we had to rate our viewers, who was the most consistent viewer, it's going to be Tracy from Devon.
That's good.
Another Devon one. So yeah, stick with us, Tracy. We're going to get you on one day. Don't worry. We
should start giving out top fan badges.
Yeah,
You should get merch. You should get top fan merch.
Oh, Terry, I don't know what's happened to your mic there. You're like really crackly. Maybe you're just getting too excited about the fan merch.
Too loud. Too loud.
Too loud. Okay. So, shall we have a look at what's coming up this evening? So we've done our big what's coming up this season. Let's do this evening, if we can stick that up, Hannah. So we have said hello to everybody. We've got Terry with us. We're going to chat about hobbies a little bit.
I said we got half. Oh, for a second there we had half of Terry.
Half of Terry, only half. We don't want all of him. It's okay. So we're going to chat about hobbies. So if you have got any hobbies
what's your
or
favorite?
things that you do in your spare time, in your time that you process things that you just like doing.
Can I just say at this point, Netflix, watching Netflix is not a hobby.
No, that doesn't count. I think that's a habit. Watching Netflix. Then we've got Terry with us sharing his story, and we have a song, and then we'll have time for prayer at the end. So if you have anything that you want us to pray about or anything like that, if you're brave enough to put it in the comments, then that would be great, and we'll pray towards the end. If you're not brave enough but you would like us to pray for you, then please send us a message. The number for our WhatsApp will come up periodically, or you can send us a message on our Facebook or on our Instagram, and we will get back to you. There's always someone monitoring that. So we would love to hear from you. Or if you'd like to do it in person, again, just message us and we'll set that up, because actually we like people. So
And it's very good Starbucks.
it's all good. Yes, and we're racking up our Starbucks points. So
We're gold members.
we,
We're gold
so we
members.
could get you a free syrup if you come along on the right week. We don't mind doing that. Okay, we can drop that. Drop the coming up with us, Hannah.
Good. And before we talk about hobbies, we've got a really somebody who we know and love and we haven't seen for a few years because they remember our church and they got married and moved down to Somerset. So a lady called Christine Disney. So
Yes.
Christine, lovely to hear from you. I hope I can see the messages you're doing really well, and it's great to have you with us here tonight. We do miss you a lot at River Church. And so at some point, if you'll come back up to the Orpington Way, you should come pop in and say hi. We would absolutely love to see you.
Definitely. Oh, we've got an update from Charlotte on the COVID front. Now negative, but the kids are all positive, so you can't do anything anyway. That is sad times.
Can I just say, when after you test positive, we've always said if one of our kids tests positive, we'll all try and kind of catch it, so then we don't have to kind of like month-long isolation. But
it hasn't worked.
There was a bit of coughing in faces and lots of hugs.
Nothing.
But no kisses, because our eldest doesn't kiss.
He doesn't kiss anyone. Although I knew he was feeling poorly one day because I said I love you at bedtime and he said I love you too. So now we know that's the upside of COVID, is your children remember that they love you. It's all good.
Good. Okay,
let's get some of these hobbies going.
There's hobbies. So if you've got hobbies, please post it in the comments, whether it's something really crazy or whether it's something really boring. We'd love to hear what you have to say. So yeah.
Do you have any hobbies, Mark?
I have a few.
What are your hobbies?
Mainly around exercising. I'm not really a fitness fanatic. I've got to the age where I need to exercise in order to be able to eat what I want. Otherwise, I will get kind of. The middle-aged bread will kind of be hitting me quite hard. So yeah, I do a bit of cycling. I do a bit of running. So I love a bit of park run. It's kind of good fun. That's my main.
You do, and he's building a posse. Like he's got a whole crew for park run now. They have a group on WhatsApp. It's quite fun, park run. It is fun.
Good. What about you, Terry? What are your hobbies?
Just being generally quite a nice guy. Actually, that's a big hobby of mine.
It's a real hobby, Terry.
I mostly cycling, and yeah, pretty much just cycling, I think. And I used to play rugby a bit, and other sports.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Good.
You're quite sporty, you men.
Well,
is that just a general man thing, or is that just you guys?
No, because I think I saw Tano, maybe a comment on Tano about collecting stamps.
As a kid, he collected stamps as a kid and Coke cans from different countries. Okay, well done. As you do. I've got nothing for that stamp collection. Do you still have your stamp collection?
But I think stamps are worth quite a lot. If you guys got a good collection,
I think if you collect the right ones, yeah, I think so. But I think my grandma used
Tano, what was your favourite Coke can? Which country was your favourite Coke can from?
Can I say, while Tano's, we'll find out from Tano. Look, Pastor Tim. He's
Bible reading and prayer.
So holy,
wow.
so Tim.
He is.
Yes. While Tim does love reading his Bible and praying, I think he does have some other hobbies.
I can't think what they are though.
Tim loves a chat.
He does love a big chat. That's true.
We're both quite into cricket, so we sometimes talk a lot about cricket.
Who else have we got on here? Marlene. Oh, there we go. Small stones and collect teaspoons from different countries, and I like to write poems. Fair enough. My kids like collecting stones, actually, to be fair.
Sticks.
I cleaned our porch the other day because inside the porch door there were so many sticks that every time you walked in they would fall across the floor. So they all went the other day, but then there was this mammoth pile of sticks outside the front door that I need to get rid of. Yeah. So insight to our real life. Knitting and a bit of art painting, and still hitting my 10,000 steps. How's that been this week, Tracy? Let us know. I'm interested. I think I missed my step count one day this week and I was really sad about it. I don't know why I missed it that day. Reading and horse riding, which I missed doing, Tracy. I'm with you. Love a bit of horse riding. I haven't been for a really long time because Mark won't buy me a pony.
I bought you a dog instead. It's just that's our hobby now, dog walking.
Indeed.
Collecting Bramley Hedge china.
Okay, I have no idea what that is.
We might have to do a bit of Googling on that. Or Charlotte, send us a picture in the comments. Can you do that? I don't know. Try it. Getting up at 5:30 to watch England embarrass themselves at cricket. Nobody cares, Tim. Nobody cares.
Well, I care, but that's a bad hobby. This winter, if you've been following England cricket, then yeah.
Can I just say, my son is doing his usual, entering comments from my Facebook, but he's actually answering as me, I think.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
he plays piano. He does like
it says I used to play piano a lot.
Right,
And music. I think he's actually, that's fraud. Someone should get him off. Shall we get Hannah on here? Where's Hannah?
What's your hobby, Hannah?
Good.
I don't know. I don't really know. I read a fair amount. I've got back into reading a little bit. Yeah, drawing, writing a little bit, but
What do you write?
playing anything and everything at this point.
Okay, fair enough.
Just anything that comes to my head, to be fair. So
Oh.
I love it. Do you keep a notebook then with it all in?
the amount of notebooks I have is ridiculous.
Well, okay,
One,
so
it's about 4 over there.
Counting her notebook.
we should maybe have like one of those like kind of very like 1990s like poetry like evenings or something, or like spoken wordy.
I'm not feeling that, but you feel free. If anybody wants that, we can have a vote. Let's have a vote. You let us know if you would like to have a what century reading?
Spoken word.
Spoken word evening. There might be lots of you who
is
like spoken word, and then you could send us your recordings, and we'll
Or is it like-
share them with the world.
Is it like slam poetry? Is that?
Maybe.
Oh, we got to do the clicking as well, instead of actually clapping, like they do at poetry slams.
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. I'm out of my depth. What I do and what you do with these things. Oh look, Grace is collecting thimbles from different countries. I love that. My grandma had loads of thimbles, and she had a special unit that had like tiny little shelves in it for the thimbles with little holes so that they didn't fall out. The other thing my grandma and granddad collect is egg cups. They've got a conservatory, and literally the whole way around their conservatory there are about four shelves which have egg cups from all over the place that people bought them, and they used to pay us every summer holidays to get up there and get them all down to wash them all and clean the shelves. They'd be full of dead spiders. So there you go, another insight.
Exciting world.
You're also glad you came, aren't you?
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, shall we crack on and actually ask Terry some questions, because that's why we got him.
Yeah.
Why we got him here.
Yeah.
Go on, you go, mate. You go.
Good. Cool. So we'll just kind of put stuff on screen. So Hannah's going to kind of hide in the background for a bit.
That was my fault. I pressed it at the same time.
Double checking.
Double
So,
team.
so go on, Terry. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how old are you? You married? What do you do as a job? That sort of thing.
Yes. How old am I? I'm 36, I believe. And from general chat over the last few days with some guys from church, I think I've probably been around the River Church and previous incarnations of the church about 19 years, I think. So yeah, that's exciting. A lot has happened in 19 years. I am married. I'm married to the wonderful Hannah, not the Hannah that you see on the screen here tonight. Although she is wonderful, there is another Hannah. And yeah, we have 3 kids. Three wonderful kids, and one of them I can hear in the background causing all sorts of havoc. So if you can hear some shouting, then I can only apologise, but no one's perfect.
If you ever see us suddenly like on screen, suddenly sort of like looking like this,
or one disappears.
Yeah, then it's that kind of.
It's a kid's done something.
Yeah, no, the wonderful joys that are children. So good. Yeah, but what sort of thing? I can hear the screen.
You hear that now?
It's fine. We'll just keep talking, Terry.
Yeah. yeah, keep talking, and hopefully it will mask.
Yeah,
It'll all just go
Hopefully it
away.
will mask.
it's good. So yeah, that's a bit about you then, Terry. So obviously, what about your family when you grew up? Kind of, what was that like?
Yeah, so I think before, I guess, yeah, very, very stable, I'd say. When I was growing up, I guess family was probably the main priority. So you've come from sort of quite stable family, to be honest, a bit boring. And I guess when I was growing up, that's where the security was really. So family was the main thing. I played sports, so football on Saturdays, rugby on Sundays, quite active, and then school, obviously in the week, and then various sports clubs. So yeah, my parents are part of the River Church now, which is great. And I've got a sister as well that lives in Peterborough, and a couple of nephews. So yeah, that's.
Can I say, Terry, you said your life was a little bit boring. Your family was quite boring. And I say one thing that was never boring in your household was the dinners. So Terry,
yeah,
amazing cook.
Yeah, mum's not too bad. She's not too bad a cook.
Not
Don't
too
tell her
bad.
though. Don't tell her I just said that.
Okay, so that's the bit kind of growing up, and then when did you come to church? What made you think?
So there was. So as I said, it's like family was secure. I guess I found stable and secure. And I was in when I was in sixth form. There was essentially that was ripped out. Something happened, and that was ripped out from under me. So what I thought was secure and safe and stable suddenly became not. I was thinking about this. You know how you see in films when waiters or someone pulls a tablecloth from all the way under and you think, wow, everything stayed up. The soup's still in the bowls. The glasses are all stood up. That didn't happen in my life. So the sheet was ripped out. Everything fell on the floor. The glasses smashed. The soup went everywhere. But at the same time, a couple of things. Now you're going to laugh, and probably a lot of people listening to this are going to laugh. I was part of our school choir. Now, I wasn't part of the school choir for my singing ability. To be honest, I was part of the school choir because there were some girls in the school choir that I liked. So, that was essentially before I was becoming a Christian, I wasn't, my life wasn't particularly, I wasn't out drinking, doing drugs. I was out with my friends, but I liked having girlfriends. So probably the biggest downfall. But so I was part of the school choir because there were some girls in there that I liked. But at the same time, the church that I started going to, soon after this incident that happened, a girl came from the church into our sixth form. Her name was Hannah, not the Hannah that I married. So this is like a third Hannah.
Hannah Magnus, Terry.
I don't know. I know she's listened to this in the past, but so we became good friends. We did date at some point, but. So she was sort of we were really good friends at the time, but so we was kind of we did a carol service, a school carol service, and we went into this church, and I guess I don't know what year, say it was 2002. During the summer we had a family holiday where it sort of just blew up. So I went from that summer sort of winter autumn term, not really knowing what was happening, and we got to this carol service, and just before we started, I thought, you know what, I need to pray. I need to pray. So I went into a side chapel in this church, and I hadn't prayed before, hadn't really had an inclination to pray before. I believed in God, but I wasn't a Christian. I would say I was an English Christian that, goes to church like Easter and Christmas and whatever. And I was like, God, please sort this out. I can't remember what I prayed, but it's essentially, God, come and sort this out. I want my family back. I want this just to be sorted. And essentially, cut a long story short, got to Christmas. God had sorted out the problem. God has sorted out the issues. The fact that our family back together, and at the same time, Hannah, who's the friend that was part of the church, invited me to a youth evening at church, and I went along, and then from there I went into what you call it, like a Just Looking course, which is like a soft alpha type thing, and learned about Jesus. So that was pretty much it. I went through a hard situation, didn't really know what to do, hadn't prayed before. I prayed, God sorted it out. God came, sorted it out, bang, learned about who Jesus was, and that was it. So yeah.
So what
pretty much
so what did you decide then to sort of go for Jesus there, or like that it was worth going for?
I think so, yeah. I mean, that was so in the new year. I think January we started this Just Looking course, and I met you guys, met Mark and Tim, and a few others, and I think it was learning about who Jesus was, about having this experience where actually Jesus came into my life and actually sorted some stuff out, and having that sort of story, learning a bit more about Jesus and the church and what Jesus had done on the cross for us, and actually then finding good friends as well. We used to have great times, like after the Just Looking course, and then whenever we used to do church services, and then I guess that was it.
That's awesome. I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a pause, and we're going to have a song now, and it's called "You Never Let Go," and actually it ties in really nicely with where we've got to in your story, really, Terry, of that actually you prayed from a dark place, and God moved. And even though at the time you didn't have a relationship with God, you knew it was God. I love that. I love that you prayed and then you trusted that it was God that was moving, and God that fixed it.
Exactly. And it was, I think that, I didn't really know what to pray. And as I hadn't prayed before.
We're going to come back to your didn't know what to pray, because that's a question that I wanted to ask you as a follow-up, which we'll ask you after the song, about praying for the first time and whether that was weird because actually that's a question that loads of people have. It's a weird thing to think about praying for the first time. So let's have this song, and then we'll come back. So Hannah, I don't know if you're there. Can you pop the song up for me, please?
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, perfect love is casting out fear. And even when I'm caught in the middle of the storms of this life, I won't turn back. I know you are near, and I will fear no evil, for my God is with me. And if my God is with let go, Lord, you never let go of me. I can see a light that is coming for the heart that holds on. There will be an end to these troubles, but until that day comes, still I will praise you, still I will praise you. I can see a light that is coming for the heart that holds on. There will be an end to this trouble, but until that day comes, still I will praise you, still I will praise you. Oh no, you never let go through the calm, through the storm. Oh no, you never let go every high, every low. Oh no, you never let go, Lord, you never let go of me. Oh no, you never let go through the calm, through the storm. Oh no, you never let go in every high, every low. Oh no, you never let go, no, you never let go of me.
Oh, hang on. We're back. There we go. We had a bit of a buffering moment there. I love that song, don't you? I think it's so, some of the words in that.
It appears we have some technical issues. Unfortunately, I think it's to do with internet connection. So, so just give Mark and Az a moment. I apologise. There we go.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't know what it's jumping around all over the place. Hopefully we're good. Yeah, so Terry, you were in a carol service and you felt the need to go and pray. So you went in a different room, you said, like one of the side chapels. To pray. What were you thinking? Like what? Because as somebody who doesn't, so you're not a Christian, you don't go to church, and you're just like, I need to pray. What was that about? Why? Do you know?
Not really. I guess I can't explain it, to be honest. I was also in Cubs, and you had to do you had to go to church as well, as part of that. Maybe being in that environment, sometimes you sort of saw people, the priests, the vicars, praying. But I remember going in, and I can't remember what I prayed. They're saying it was probably, Lord, come and sort this situation out. I don't know what to do, something like that. I got down on my knees, and maybe I was like a ball, maybe. I can't really remember, but I knew there was nothing else that could be done, or nothing else that I can do. And yeah, so as I say, I believed in God, but I don't know. It's really difficult to say. Like, I guess, when you're in that situation, you don't really know. You don't need to know what to pray. You sort of have to come at it from a selfish point of view, really. It's like, God, I come and sort this out, and it's, quite, yeah. It was like I need God to move. That's what it was.
That's awesome. So, okay, so if you had someone who had their own struggles or whatever, and they came to you and they said to you, "I don't know what to do. I think I need to pray about something." What would you say as somebody who actually did that? What would you say to them? How would you explain to them? Because I grew up in a Christian home, and so did Mark. So growing up, we were used to people praying. So we learned to pray by watching our parents, by hearing other people in church or our families praying. So for us, it's a bit weird so I'm still not super confident at praying out loud in front of people, but I do it. Whereas that must be so, even that first prayer that you say, especially as if you're from a non-church or non-Christian environment, is so weird. What would your advice be, or what would your suggestion be to somebody who actually just wants to pray but doesn't know how?
Yeah, can I just give a shout? I've just seen Hannah. Hannah's watching all the way from Egypt again. So Hannah is Hannah's the one that I was friends with in our sixth form, and Hannah was the one that invited me along to, obviously, to church, to the youth event, to the youth evening, and then just wanted to give a shout. Saw she's watching, so what would I would just say, just pray from your heart and pray from your mind, because don't overthink it. Don't, just do it. I could have thought of a million reasons not to go into that chapel that night, and it could have been like, oh no, I need to stay here because what if we're called into the church to do this choir service or this carol service? It's got to be from the heart, and almost whatever you're going through, just pray. There's no fancy words, you don't have to do anything in particular. I could quite easily say, from after 19 years of being a Christian, you could apply loads of stuff to it and say, oh, I'll pray with you, we'll pray together. But quite often you don't get the opportunity. So it's like, why don't you just pray? Just pray from your heart.
Yeah, essentially what you're saying then is actually it's just having a chat with God.
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
just talking to God. Whatever's in here and in your heart is just blowing out. And actually, like, part of that is not being afraid to be who you are with God, because God knows who you are already, doesn't he? So he knows if you speak in a certain way, if you use certain words to explain things, if you if you're angry, if you're upset, even God doesn't even mind that, and he'd rather you spoke to him than not, isn't it? So that's
good.
That's great. I love that. Sorry, carry on with questions.
To go back to your story then, Terry. Obviously, you've done this. You went on that course, and you sort of said 19 years ago. So obviously, what difference has kind of God made in your life since obviously you decided to go and follow Jesus?
Yeah, I think the first big thing that happened was, so I didn't start going to church on a Sunday morning. So I was still playing rugby, and that was still quite a big part of my life. And so, but we had an evening meeting. So I used to go along to that, and but it turns out, like, the rugby team that I was playing for, sort of just, I guess it got to a point where for me, God was more of a priority, and it helped that the team that I was playing were just losing all the time, and actually probably wanted to have a fight fight with other teams more than actually play rugby. And actually, I was like, do you know, I don't need this. I need God more. And so I think one of the first, I guess, big things that I changed or I gave up was rugby on a Sunday morning. And I think I attribute that to probably one of the reasons I'm still a Christian today, and giving up that, I guess that hobby, that, you know, that I guess that love of my life to you know, put God first. So yeah, I think that was probably, you know, a big change that happened early on.
Yeah, good. Any other differences that you found in the 9 years that you've known God that He's sort of made?
Big or
different?
small?
Yeah.
What was the start? I missed the start of the question, sorry.
So, any other differences that God's sort of made in your life since you? Yeah.
I think so. So, I think I'm less, I guess, less angry, but also I think probably the big thing I'm still involved is in the introduction, I was, you know, you guys said I was one of our kids group leaders, and I think that was a big thing in my life. Like probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I went for a patch where I was like, I was really, you know, really grumbling. Mark, I probably was moaning to you most days, actually, on the train to work, and, you know, actually grumbling about what was going on, and not actually saying, what can I do? And I think God had, at that point, had led me into doing kids work, and actually not seeing it as like a babysitting service on a Sunday morning, but actually actually seeing these kids come, you know, begin to know Jesus. And I think that's, you know, that's really what God had been doing in my life, you know, up until now. So
Good. And obviously, you found God for a kind of really difficult family situation, and obviously you prayed, and God kind of met with you and changed the situation. Of course, has that meant the rest of your life's been perfect and nothing else has gone wrong? God's like sorted it all out for you.
Yeah, I'd love to say yes, but unfortunately, no one's perfect. You know, I think, you know, we still have a lot to do. You know, we're not perfect until Jesus returns, but.
Good. But I hope, Terry, you can say that even though life has its ups and downs, you've really found that God's with you and sort of helped you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely so. Yeah, I mean, I guess over the years, you know, I've been one of the big I guess factors or events in my life. I've been made redundant a couple of times. I've been in and out of work. One of them, I guess, or the first time I was made redundant was we just had our first kid, Miriam, and that was a big pressure. But we learned actually the budget that you make, you know, goes out the window, because, you know, we just have to trust God that God would provide, and He did, and he does. So we've learned that over the years, that's for sure.
Good. Amen. Well, it's been absolutely great having you, Terry. I think,
thank you for
sharing
for
your
joining
story.
us.
It's good. I think let's just we'll have a little pray, and then we can kind of have a little chat.
Do you want to pray?
Yeah.
Go on then, you pray.
So I pray, Terry, and then you can pray as well if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Jesus, Lord, we thank you that, Lord, you met with Terry all those 19 years ago, Lord, when he was just a fresh-faced, Lord, sort of 17-year-old, and Lord, going for a really difficult time, Lord, and you came and you met with Dan, Lord. But I thank you, Lord, my story is similar to Terry's, Lord, in that, Father, I've, Lord, called out to you at times, Father, and you've answered me, Lord. It's not saying you've done exactly what I wanted, and it's the same for Terry, Lord. It wasn't that you came and just magically suddenly made it all better and that his life was perfect, Lord. You came and you sorted the situation out, Lord, but most importantly, you came and met with Terry. And I know, Lord, my story is the same, Lord, that Lord, you've not made my life perfect, Lord, but you've been there with me the whole time. I thank you, that's what you promise in your Bible, Lord, in your word, Lord, that we, Lord, wherever we're going through, we can come or we can cry out, Lord, and you always hear us and you always come and meet with us. Lord, thank you for that. Amen.
Amen.
Lord Jesus, I thank you that that you heard me, Lord, that evening. when I prayed to you, Lord, about my family situation, Lord, and you came and you sorted that out, Lord, and it wasn't anything. Lord, I didn't know what to pray, Lord. It was just as if I was talking to someone, and it wasn't a difficult thing to do. And Lord, but essentially, the most important thing is, Lord Jesus, you heard me then, and you're hearing me today, and that's the same thing for anyone else that wants to pray tonight or tomorrow, is that you hear them, Lord, and that's wonderful. And I just want to thank you for that, Lord, and ever since then, Lord, you've always been, you're always here, Lord. You never, Lord, as we heard in that song, you never let go, Lord, and I thank you for that, Lord Jesus. And I just, yeah, as I say, I pray, Lord, that anyone listening, Lord, wouldn't be worried about praying, Lord, for if it's for their first time, they would just talk to you, and they would, Lord, speak to you, Lord, all that is on their heart and in their mind, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you so much, Terry. It's been lovely having you with us, as ever.
Good. And I think just to really finish on that yeah, wherever you're at tonight, if maybe you need to come and pray, and prayer is a fancy word for talking to God, really. And just encourage you, as Terry shared with us, that it doesn't have to be some fancy, you don't have to be somebody special, you don't have to have kind of been to church for so many weeks before you can do it. Wherever you're, and the thing is, doesn't matter where you are, you don't have to be in a church building, you can pray at home. It wasn't the chapel that was the answer to Terry's prayer. It was the fact he opened his mouth and spoke to God. And I encourage you that if that's you, to not be afraid to pray. And if you want us to pray for anything, as Alice said, you don't have to tell us the whole story. Just say, I need prayer, and that's good enough. We're happy to do it.
Yeah.
You've got, I think, see our things at the bottom.
Our contact details are at the bottom of the page.
Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, even drop us an email.
Yeah, they're all. Terry's trying to do the pointy thing now.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? It never works quite right. They're there. So if you do have anything that you want to chat about, if you've got questions to ask, or prayer questions, thoughts, comments, anything, we would actually really love to hear them, and we would really like your feedback on the format of this, because although this is our second season, we're still not in any way professionals. I know you all think that we are, because we do such a smooth job every week. But if you have ideas for improvements or anything, then please let us know. Shall we just have a look at the other topics that are coming up over the next few weeks? So we've got some different topics coming up. Again, I can't actually, definitely tell you which weeks they are.
We like to keep you in suspense.
Yeah.
You tune in, and it might be something you wouldn't
It's so
necessarily tune
exciting.
in for.
The only one I can tell you when it's going to be is Mother's Day. And if you look on your calendar, you'll find out which Sunday that is going to be. Because again, I don't actually know off the top of my head.
I wouldn't be pretty poor if we did that 2 weeks after Mother's Day, wouldn't it?
As a filler.
Mother's Day.
Okay, so some of the topics are money troubles. How far away from God is too far away from God? Is there such a thing? Marriage and relationships, outlook on life, habits, health challenges, losing family members, making choices, and then Mother's Day. So there's loads and loads and loads of things which are just part of everyday normal human being life. So there's nothing too out there that it doesn't affect somebody. All of these things affect most of us, to be fair,
I think, as I said,
at some point.
I think we said right at the beginning of this, we want to talk about how people have gone through these situations and they've either had Jesus with them and it's made a massive difference, or maybe they found Jesus through it and he's come in. And that's really what we want to keep saying. That's what we'll keep hearing from us, is what an awesome difference that Jesus makes, because that's really our story.
Our fearless pastor is giving us a reminder. Like and subscribe, people. River Church.
Also, losing a family member might be quite relevant if you've forgotten when Mother's Day is.
That's true. Maybe we should have that the week after. All of those children that have forgotten Mother's Day presents.
On that, it was my mum's birthday this week, and our younger brother, who's a guy called Pete, he sent a card and a present. Tim, very good son, sent a card and sent a present. I realised on the morning that yes, I hadn't done it, so I'm bad. Sorry, Mum, if you're watching. I'm a bad son. So it's
I would apologise, but he's your son, and he should be responsible for such things. So,
but I have put it in my calendar now, so I won't forget next time.
look at Tim. Tim's claiming favourite son position. We all know that's not true. It's clearly Pete. Let's be real here.
Yeah, youngest brother, yeah. But no, I love you, Mum. Happy birthday for the other day. I did give her a phone call.
This is not your personal catch-up space.
Apologise, yeah. I just wanted to let you know what kind of a rubbish son I am when it comes to on Mother's Day. I have to try and do something nice for Mother's Day.
Right, let's get Hannah back on here, and then we can say goodbye properly. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. We would really love to hear from you. And we will be back next Sunday at 8 o'clock in the evening with a mystery topic and the difference that God has made to somebody's life. You'll have to join us then to find out who and how.
Yeah.
That's cool, isn't it? A proper little thing for next week.
Good. But thank you tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Terry, for sharing your real story.
Yeah, thank you, Terry.
It's good. It's been it's been great. I've known Terry since he joined our church like 19 years ago.
It's one of our faves.
Yeah. So it's good. I'm not sure if it's just us. Your screen has
every now and again your screen jumps, Terry, and it leaves like a little. Like you have a little frozen second. As is probably doing the same when it's doing its buffery thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, perfect.
With a beautiful face, Terry.
Gorgeous.
Good.
Right, we are going to let you all go.
Cool.
So thank you so much for coming, and we will see you all again.
Yeah, have a great week.
Yes.
See ya.
See you. Thank
See you guys.
Bye.